Are you going to speak? It's like she tries to wait me out every Sunday to see. I can't take it.
You can't take it?
No.
What's happening, everybody? Happy Sunday. It is the last Sunday of September, and all of a sudden we're going to be in October.
It's
Of course,
Q4.
you wouldn't know it here in Las Vegas because we continue to be over 100 degrees here. It's freaking hot. And, I'm fine with it during the summertime, but, when you're just ready for that time, that season change. We're ready for sweater weather. I'm wearing long pants with socks because it's like I'm just ready for it, okay?
Yep.
Anyway, hi, everybody. I see Julie says hi from Central Florida. I don't know if you got any storming going on there. I mean, I know it hit a lot of states, but Central
Seems
probably...
like North Carolina got some of the worst of it. Everybody was concentrated on Florida as usual.
Yeah, North Carolina
had some real damage. So I hope everybody is safe and made it through the storm with minimal damage.
Oh, I see. We've got another fun find here.
Angelisa. So Kathy said it's super hot in Tucson too. Yeah, this is well past our normal time of the year where we should be in the 80s. We're about 15 to 20 degrees higher than the season norms at this time of the year, and we have been for a while. So it's like, dang, it's like,
yeah,
I'm ready. We live in Vegas. I love the heat. I love the hot weather. But fall and spring are my favorite times of the year here, and we don't have any fall yet.
61 in Michigan. I'm actually going, so we are not going to have a show next Sunday, guys. I'm going to be in Oregon with my sister, the Binkster, Binky. And so I am looking forward to hopefully a little bit cooler weather there. And poor little Victoria will be here with the puppies crying herself to sleep every night.
I'll be home alone for 4 days.
Yep. 4 days, 72 hours.
Okay.
It's not long. 4 days.
It's too long.
72 hours. I think you can handle it. Anyway, so
I want to answer Tommy's question.
I know we're gonna get to it. We got updates and things. Actually, this show we have a very hard out at 3:00. And so normally we break the show into 3 parts. I'll go over this part real quick. The first part, we look at our real numbers for the week, all of our sales across all our platforms, gross numbers. And then we break down, some of the costs such as fees and shipping and most importantly, cost of goods. The middle part of our show, we look at our sales highlights for the last week, some of the interesting things we might have sold. And then the last part is where we talk about, our goals, what we accomplished last week, what we accomplished or what we want to accomplish next week. I can't talk today. And we usually kind of go into our topic, but we'll probably do a little bit more of that at the beginning of the show this time because we need to be out right at 3:00. And also I titled it Obstacles and Roadblocks because this is the kind of stuff that happens to everybody. But especially when you have your own business and you're the only employee, it's one bad thing, one thing going wrong, one thing that jumps up in the middle of the road and stops you is enough to make things really, really difficult as well as really scary. And so Tommy was asking about Dana, our friend Dana, House of Rocks, as all of you know her as.
Or Dana Jasmine.
I think last week, the last update that we had last week was that she had been really sick. She'd been throwing up, and then she went to the hospital, and somehow it turned into her getting her appendix taken out. Well, that did happen, but it's actually much, convoluted, worse. It's not been great. We're kind of in the middle of figuring out what's going to happen, but you want to explain what's going on?
Yeah, so basically, I'm not saying anything out of school. Her husband's been updating people a little bit on social media. We spent last night with Dana babysitting. She cannot be left alone at the moment, so her husband had a gig. He's a musician, so we stayed with her at the house. At her house for about 7 hours.
So it had all started, she had a red, it was like a broken blood vessel.
Yeah, she had a red broken blood vessel in her eye. I think
months.
We've all seen that. It was only for a couple of weeks.
Okay, a couple weeks.
So she went to go see, it wasn't clearing up and it was irritating. So she went to go see the eye doctor. This was a little over a week ago. Went to go see the eye doctor and to make sure it wasn't a scratched cornea or an infection. Those of us that have had that, you know what that's like. You need to have the medicated drops if you scratch your cornea. It's very painful. But that wasn't what had happened. They dilated her eyes. Because they dilated her eyes, she was afflicted with a very rare, very sudden onset of acute onset closure. And glaucoma is basically what it means is it's like something pinches your optic nerve in the back of your eye, and it happens very suddenly, and a lot of fluid builds up.
And high pressure.
And it's very high pressure. It happens very suddenly. It can happen from dilating, and it can happen, could be brought on gradually. But in her case, it was from the dilation of her eyes, which it's like 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000. Mm-hmm. It's very, very rare. But basically what it means is that she is completely blind right about now. She can see shadows and some colors and some shapes.
Sometimes it's better than other times.
Sometimes it's better than other times. She's had to have a couple of laser procedures done, and now we're in a waiting game.
Yeah. So what happened, just to go back really quick, she got really sick, violently ill, throwing up for like 12 hours to the point where she had to go to the hospital. She had to go in an ambulance. She couldn't even get herself to the car, even with help from her husband, Johnny. Went to the hospital. She was there for 3 days while they're trying to figure out what was going on. And we think that all of the throwing up and all that stuff had inflamed her appendix, because it sounds crazy. What do her eyes have to do with her appendix? Inflamed her appendix, and then they thought that was just what the problem was. Her appendix, which it was inflamed and everything. So they took it out. And unfortunately, that particular hospital didn't have anybody on staff, the ophthalmologist, what do they call it?
They didn't have a professional ophthalmologist.
And they weren't taking it seriously when her and Johnny kept saying, I can't see, there's something wrong with my eyes.
So basically, it is temporary. Hopefully it is temporary. This really, right now, it's a waiting game. 80% of the time, if this is untreated, you will be blinded completely, and it's both eyes. And I don't say this to scare anybody. She is scared plenty enough. Right now, it is a waiting game. Her eyesight could gradually get better over the next few weeks, and as the swelling comes down, she's doing all of the right things. They are doing all of the right things. Her doctor is very hopeful that she will regain her eyesight. But right now, she's very, very scared, and she can't read any messages. Her husband reads a couple of them to her. We were able to put her store on vacation, but basically, Katy and I are going to go to her house 3 days a week and do her shipping for her in the meantime. They need the money, like most of us do, and she can't keep her store on vacation indefinitely. Unfortunately, her husband doesn't know how to do any of it. So it's rather than have her be stressed over that too, we're going to go and try to help her a few days a week, and so at least keep her sales, as dismal as some sales can be, keep her sales going. But right now she's she's pretty scared. So if you can send her well wishes or prayers or whatever works in your wheelhouse, just send her good juju that she heals completely. We're hoping and hopeful for a complete recovery. But right now it's just a waiting game.
Well, she's scared, she's stressed, but then on top of that, she's freaking bored. It's she can't read anything. She can't be on her phone. She can't be messaging with people. She can't mindlessly scroll reels. I mean, she has the TV cat pictures.
Yeah, it's House of Rocks, HAUS, House of Rocks, and ROXX. If someone wants to put that in the chat, guys, feel free to go and shop from her. Her stores are on vacation until tomorrow, but everything comes off tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, share her stores. If you guys are on Poshmark, if you want to share her Poshmark closet, that would be appreciated. Yeah. She does not use a sharing tool, and I don't know that I'll have time to do the sharing as well. But just keep her in your thoughts, and hopefully she'll be okay. Right now, it's when her husband's home, and she can't really be left alone. So we're probably going to babysit while he goes to work a few days this week as well. She'll come over here and hang with us and the dog, so she won't be alone. She's just having a difficult time even just navigating to and from the bathroom and getting around. It's pretty tough. So
because she can kind of see, like Vikki was saying, she can kind of, depending on how bright it is, she can kind of sort of see shapes and stuff. But she can only see what's directly in front of her, and very blurry at that. But nothing she has no peripheral vision, nothing above, nothing below. Her depth perception, all that is way out. So it's major fall risk.
It happened last Friday, not the day before yesterday, but last Friday is when it happened, and they didn't really have it diagnosed until Tuesday of this week.
Yeah.
So
it's been really awful. So, and hopefully that is going to get better. But this stuff It's like when I had my accident back in 2018, it threw a huge wrench into my business, and we were really lucky to have a great friend like Dana. She came and helped Vikki ship when I couldn't do anything. And she's been there for us so many times over the years. So we are just grateful that we have the ability to at least help her a little bit, even though we can't fix her situation overall. Anyway, so that's the update on Dana. Quick update on me, because I've been telling you guys all the stuff I've been doing on my little health journey of like getting my shit together 2024, thanks to being inspired by our friend Lorna, who's in the chat. I did get called back after having gotten my very first mammogram ever in the history of time of my life. And I got called back to do a spot compression mammogram and ultrasound. And they did find a teeny tiny 1 centimeter nodule that they said is benign looking and not something to be overly concerned about now as far as needing a biopsy or anything like that. But they do want me to come back every 6 months for at least the next 2 years to keep an eye on it. And so that is what I'm doing. I'm letting you guys know you have full permission. If in March I haven't talked about going back in to get that done, you guys are free to harass me, because I do need to make sure I stay on top of that. They're supposed to call me like in 5 months to do that, but you know what? You never know. Sometimes you can't put all your trust that the system is going to work the way it's supposed to.
Right.
So that's mine. I'm not going to worry about it, but just this is a reminder to all of you guys out there. If you have not done the stuff that you need to do at the age that you are, as far as just taking care of your health and making sure that you're good to go.
Get the tatas checked, get the colonoscopy, do all the things. Do all the things.
Check your butt, check your boobs, check your hoo-ha.
Check all the things.
Check all the things, yeah. And men can get breast cancer too, so do all of the things. Anyway, so that's a little update. So let's just go ahead and jump into the show.
Well, real quick, I want to do the recap. We've had a busy week.
We have.
eBay Open was this week, by the way. Did everybody see Liz on eBay Open?
Yeah.
She
did fantastic.
Liz's presentation was fantastic. All the seller-led sessions, or the seller labs as they called them, are always my favorite part. The last few years, they've finally been listening to sellers and giving the content that we want, having sellers teach and talk to other sellers. They were all fantastic. I had a lot of friends that were involved with eBay Open this year. A little partial. Liz's was my favorite presentation, but it's only because she's one of my besties.
Yep. Only, I think it's also because she was amazing.
Yes.
You just acted like you were giving her a
kidding.
pass. So rude.
She did a great job, and Ken and Anna were so much fun with their co-hosting with Rebecca. I didn't expect that much of it. Anyway,
Shelly was amazing too. And
Shelly
even though she's an employee, she's also a seller, as we like to say. Like, she's a real seller. Like I say, she doesn't just play around with it. She did a great job too.
Yeah, she's. It was a great eBay Open this year. We hosted our local meetup here. We had a lot of fun. Met a lot of new people. If any of you are watching right now that we met for the first time, welcome. And it was a good time. All the replay is available on the Open website for anyone that has not seen it. As Liz says, within the next week or so, it should be on the eBay YouTube channel as well. All of the sessions are rewatchable and playable. The biggest announcement that I will say, that those of you, if you did not happen to see it, is that eBay Open will be live next year. It will be in person next year and not virtual, to celebrate the 30th anniversary of eBay. I hesitate to think they'll do it more than that. I think it's just going to be another one and done. But it's exciting to hear. We don't know when or where yet. I do assume it will be in Vegas again, and it will probably be in July or August like they used to be. That's the cheapest time for them to do it, and Vegas is one of the best locations because of size and all that kind of stuff.
And where all their employees are.
And the location of all their employees and how many people they bring in. So keep an eye out for that. If you're able to attend eBay Open in person, it is fantastic. It does sell out. It sells out every year. And who knows how big they're going to do it this year. They may limit it to 500 people. Who knows? We don't know anything. We just know that they're doing it in person. That's all they said. So it's really exciting.
Very exciting. All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. I'm going to look at our numbers for last week. Now, it was an interesting week for sure. And as you guys know, let me go ahead and share this. Where's the... my screen I'm looking for. Here it is. It's hidden down below. All right. Now I always go first if I've sold less than Vikki, but it's not what what you see is not what is not necessarily how it appears. I don't know if I said that right. Anyway, let's just look at this. I will say I had one. You'll see later. I had one really big sale. But much like it always seems to happen, whenever you have some sort of unusually large sale or an unusually great week on one platform, the other platforms are sure to mess it up for you. So it's one of those weeks for me. So while I'm grateful that I was able to keep kind of steady on where my numbers are, I was really excited when I had this big sale that I was going to have like this blowout week where I was going to have this huge bump, which I did not get. So you can see like my total outgoing orders at 43. It's a big drop from last week. I was over 60 last week. So
you still did good though. Look at your numbers are still.
I know.
Hey, those are good for you.
I'm aware. It's just like I had this really big sale, and it's like I swear every time you have like this banging week on like one platform, the other platforms
they go to sleep.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we don't really have to work that hard. So I had 31 eBay orders, 7 Etsy, 1 Poshmark, guys, like a single Poshmark order for $30, and that was yesterday. So it's been a real rough week on Poshmark for me. And then 4 between Grailed Macari and Depop, no private orders, so total 43. eBay, last week I did over 1,800 on eBay. So while this is, yes, a great week for me on eBay, especially when going back in time to like last year and stuff, it did drop. So $1,469.22. And then Etsy, I almost hit 1,000. Nice. If you can guess, my one big sale was on Etsy. So $964.08. There's my sad, pitiful little Poshmark, and then pretty sad and pitiful Grailed Macari and Depop all together, only at $121. Like, geez, guys, come on. And so my total gross sales, $2,584.30. So I think last week I was like 26 something. So real close to last week, just barely below that. Shipping, $205.60. You can see the breakdown of my fees. Cost of goods were down a little bit this week, 95. So I just barely, and I will say I beat last week's net sales for me. Just barely over 2,000. So it actually ended up being pretty good. My gross average sale price jumped up, of course. It's been like hanging out around 40, a little over 40. But because I had the one really big sale, it did jump way up to 60.10. And then net average sale price, 46.52. So
that's good.
So overall, I had a really good week. It would have been cool if I would have been like over 3,000 for my total gross sales, but I guess I shouldn't be greedy. All right, let's go ahead and look at Victoria's for the week.
This was okay. It wasn't as good as last week, but not too bad. I beat Katy by less than $100. So 28 eBay orders, 8 on Etsy, 8 on Poshmark, and 1 sad Macari order for a total of 45 outgoing orders. I did 1904 on eBay, 406 on Etsy, 272 on Poshmark, and 1 $49 lonely sale on Macari for a total of 2631.42 for the week for gross sales. My shipping breakdown was $228, and the rest of the breakdown of the fees from the platforms. You still have Macari fees there. There are no fees on Macari.
Whatever.
You need to fix the spreadsheet.
So
my cost of goods, always low, $107 for my cost of goods. My total net, just under $2,000, so $1,973 and change.
Interesting. Your net under $2,000. Your net under 2,000.
Yep.
So as you can see,
I spend more on shipping.
Vikki did beat me when it came to the gross sales, but once you figure in the rest of it, I actually beat her by a whole like $27 to $26. Big whoop-de-doo. But anyway,
I mean, combined, we did over $5,000 for the week.
I
so
know.
That's like $20,000 plus a month for 2 people. That's not bad.
Not
a lot
bad.
of people, most people in our position combine their businesses, and most couples work together. We do not, so we don't kill each other.
Yeah. But, so once upon a time, though, it was pretty normal for us to, remember we used to do
I used to do 5,000
our title.
a week.
We used to together we do anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000. So whatever. I'm trying to claw my way back up. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
But I'm pretty happy overall. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our sales highlights, and starting with you, what you got going on?
This is just a really cool dress, handmade like a lot of the vintage dresses are. This actually was given to me by our friend Matt that lives here in town. Matt comes over and brings vintage stuff whenever he comes for one of our meetups or something like that. And he's like, here, I found this. You can have it and sell it.
Very fall.
It's
very
a very
autumn.
fall and autumn looking dress. Yeah, it's this vintage with the kick pleats on the bottom and this kind of V-neck. It's almost like a shawl collar, but not deep enough. It's this 60s dress made out of wool, and it's lined. It's really pretty. It has a very autumnal fall looking style. So it sold, I probably had it for about 6 months or so, and it sold for, just as we're heading into season, so $75.
Nice. All right, first one for me. Now, I've got some that, like, it's not necessarily anything that's super exciting, but I wanted to show this because I got this at the bins like a couple weeks ago. I think it was listed for like 2 days before it sold. And this is definitely something where I picked it up and I'm like, as you guys know, too many hoodies. Why do I have to keep buying hoodies?
And it's just
I'm
a
looking
local
at
wrestling team.
And it's like a high school, it's some, high school wrestling team. But I'm like, but the graphic is so cool. And it's not vintage, but it's a champion reverse weave, and it's one of those ones where it's meant to be short sleeve, as you can see from it's got the little C up on the short sleeve, and so I picked it up and I'm like, it's kind of heavy because those reverse weaves are pretty thick, but it's got the sleeves, short sleeves. But I was like, why am I getting this? And I almost threw it back, and then I was like, nope, I'm gonna get it because I just couldn't say no, which just seems so dumb. And then it literally took 2 days, and I sold it for $30 plus $8.95 shipping. And
is it in Utah? Jill says it's in St. George. Is it? There might be one here too. It might be both.
Yeah, I mean, I probably put it. It's probably somewhere in the item specifics. I don't know. Usually I do. Yeah, I put Utah.
Oh, look at that! It's in St. George.
Yeah. Anyway, so whatever. It's like high school stuff can sell, and I don't even know where it went. I don't think it went to Utah, but it's just a really cool sweatshirt, and
it's just weird to me.
Sold it quick.
Weird.
You just gotta price it right. But I paid maybe like $3 for it and flipped it real quick. So there you go. You never know.
You never know. These were a quick flip as well. These were bins buy. They were dead stock. I think they were like Newport News or something like that. One of the catalogs from the 90s. Dead stock. They had the cardboard inside one of them still. And they're just these inexpensive suede. I'll just say it like that. Inexpensive suede. It's basically the cheap stuff that you'd buy. And they were probably $30 brand new in the 90s. But the color was what was cool. Yeah, Tommy, they're just a cool like teal color, which I love. Very chaperone. And so they sold the person sent me an offer for $70.
Wow.
The price was $79.95. They were listed less than a week. I mean, come on now. I'm always happy to entertain a reasonable offer. They were not on sale. So $70, that's a damn good offer on a $79 item. I was like, yes, I could not accept fast enough. So very cool. I like them. And if they were my size, I might have kept them. They're kind of cool.
Very, very nice. All right, next up for me, just this cool, Land's End is not like any kind of special brand, although it is, definitely high quality. It's just kind of one of those, I don't know, brand that like...
It's a mid-range catalog brand.
Mid-range catalog brand, so not cheap, but not anything that's going to like be worth $1 bazillion. And we got all your notifications. That's inappropriate, Liz. Stop messaging us during the show so that everyone can see the name of our chat. Oh, seriously. How embarrassing. Well, this is pretty much the coolest name for a chat group ever. But anyway, but this is a cool shirt because it's got that, for keywords, that railroad hickory striped, blue and white stripes. And I think I had this up for maybe a couple of months, so it really didn't last all that long. I'm pretty sure I got this at the bins.
I like the hickory
stripe
stuff.
Possible I got this from Jen, but from Jennifer Goodale, but she can always correct me if I'm wrong when she comes in, watches the show. But anyway, I sent an offer out for $40, and I got my $40. So $40 plus shipping. So I just wanted to show this because this whole style, like whether it's overalls or pants, like workwear pants, or these shirts, these are always going to sell. Maybe not for huge money, but the whole railroad hickory stripe thing is something you don't want to pass it up. What were you going to say?
I was going to comment on what Susie said in it to flip it, and then Lori as well. Land's End buyers are Land's End buyers. It's like Eddie Bauer, Land's End, Chico's. There are those same. I feel they're kind of overpriced mid-level brands. However, at least with the Land's End and Eddie Bauer, they're generally really well made.
Yes.
Type of
this is very
LL Bean, that type of thing. People that wear that type of clothing and those brand names, they buy them over and over and over again. So there is a brand loyalty for that type of thing. And very few of them have, like, you know, I think Eddie Bauer might be the only store that still has, and a couple LL Bean stores around the country. Almost everything is all online or catalog online now. So there's not a ton in person. So.
Yep. Yes, Liz, it popped up on the screen because Vikki likes to have like all of her notifications go off.
I don't know how to turn them off.
All right, I will have to do it for you because I can't handle it because when I'm working, like I'm not looking, I don't want to have like Vikki's computer will be dinging nonstop and I'm like, that's so obnoxious to me. And it's
it's on silent.
But I turned it on silent. I'm talking about like just in normal life, a normal everyday life, it'll be like going ding, ding, ding. And then she's got it popping up on the screen. Like I want to work. I don't want stuff like popping up.
It's on silent unless I have playing videos.
But you also have it popping up on your stinking screen. It's ridiculous.
It's my computer. Why do you care?
Okay. Next up for... Wait. Uh-oh.
What?
Well, I show one. Oh, that was mine.
That
Sorry.
was yours. You just talked about it for 17 years.
You shut your mouth. What do you got here?
I got this at the bins when Danica was here, actually.
Oh, it's Danica's outfit.
And this is... I don't know where this came from, but it's like somebody made this in the 90s.
It's amazing.
With that really cheesy 90s fabric with these big bell sleeves. It's some kind of goth costume type thing. I mean, maybe they wore it for real out in person, but, you know, out in public, but I think it's very costumey or cosplay-ish. So, it sold for the price you see there, $87. I probably paid $4 to $5 based on weight at the bins. Come on now.
It is hideous.
It's hideous. True. It's ridiculous, but, you know.
It is hideous.
Buy the ugly sells.
True. All right, next up. Now, I think I got this from Jennifer, in which case I paid $5 for it. Otherwise, I got it at the bids. So I'm almost positive I got it from Jennifer. I priced it really high. I did not sell it for that price. This is one of those things where it's like, I have no idea what this is. I used Google Lens, couldn't find it anywhere. So I had to just kind of like figure out what I thought it was all about.
I thought that said do more. God, with people with that horrible.
It says no more, and you've got this dog chained up, and on the front it shows like the collar with the chain breaking. So I put no more dog fighting. I'm like, that's what I'm gonna say it's about, because it's got like the scary dog and says no more. So anyway, I've had this for a while. I ended up sending out an offer for like $40, and somebody accepted it, and I'm like, you know, because again, when I have stuff like this, I'm like, I'm going to price it high because who knows? But if it goes for a couple of months and it hasn't even come close to selling or getting offers, like I'm going to go crazy because it's sending lower offers until somebody jumps on it. Because I'm like, I still paid like maybe $5 for it at the most.
True.
I mean, $40 for it plus shipping. So I think it's actually a really cool shirt. Poisonally. Next up for you.
Okay.
Pokemon.
This was also a bins find. So this probably cost me, this was around 3 pounds. It probably cost me a little over $5. I did wash it. I did treat it for stains. As you can see, there are quite a few discoloration spots on it. And I did note them all in the description and photos and things like that. However, it still sold for $95 in about 2 weeks. I've had it listed for about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Don't ever pass up anything vintage Pokemon for sure. All right, next up for me, I'm showing this because, guys, I've had this for freaking ever, okay? Occasionally, I like to dabble in a little bit of retail arbitrage, and sometimes it does better than other times. Actually, I think I had a few of these. And but I've literally had, this is like the last one, I've literally had it for years. It's just this, how do you say it?
Victorinox? I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, it's the Swiss Army knife, whatever. I've had it for freaking ever. It's, you know, supposedly was $195, but I think I got this.
Nobody ever paid $195.
I think I got this at like Burlington. But I never had a price like super high. I think at most I ever had a price was like $100. But I had a few other ones, and this was just the last one that hung around forever. So when it actually sold for $59.99 plus shipping, how do you think I felt about that?
It was like a flippin' miracle.
It was like a flippin' miracle, and I'm like, good riddance, get out of here, skedaddle. Go find your own home somewhere else.
Get out, get a job.
Yep.
It's time.
I mean, it's a cool vest, but man, I've had it forever. It's time to move on to my life. Anyway, that's all.
You're a little bit nuts.
All
All
right,
right. Another quilt. Now, this is the last one for a while. I talked last week and showed a bunch of quilts that I had sold. I had purchased 7 quilts. I have sold all 7 of the quilts within the first 2 weeks of listing them. They all had damage. They all had issues. This one had a full, big color bleeds on the back. It looks like somebody spilled grape juice on the quilt. I washed it. I treated it. It's fainter, I suppose, but
I like this spot right here.
that's me and my shadow. So you can't see it totally on the quilted side, but you definitely can see it. I've already received positive feedback on this. I took an offer for $105 plus shipping.
Crazy.
And yeah, I probably paid, like I said, about $5 or $6 based on weight for each of these. So I purchased 7 quilts they were probably about 4 pounds a piece. I think I paid maybe $30, maybe $35 for all of them based on weight.
Yeah.
And I've sold all of them for over $800 all in within 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
So
you need to find you some more quilts.
I need quilts, damn it. I need quilts.
Seriously.
But anyway, that was a really good one. And yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it was a pretty quilt. I think when it's on a bed, you're not going to see the faint pink that's on the pattern side. So
yeah. Very nice. All right. Next up, I did not sell it for this price, guys, but I've had this shirt for, I think, almost a year now. This was just a really cool bins find, and from 1990. Occasionally I actually find something that's like really cool and unique, and so I had to snag it. And but I priced it high because who knows what was going to happen. But it's been sitting around forever, and so again, I've been sending out much lower offers, and I ended up sending out an offer for $65, and I sold it for $65. But I love it when I find cool, unique stuff at the bins, and this thing was like dead stock, brand new, crispy. So, but a very cool shirt. It would have been nice to sell it for almost $200, but
Yeah,
sold it for $65 plus $5.95 shipping. So I was happy with that.
Okay, so again, don't at me for the photos. This was a short-term photography assistant.
We saw your last listing. So.
I had over the summer. But in any case, I purchased this for $2 at a garage sale. I got a whole bunch of these coats at one garage sale earlier this year in the spring. And I took quite a while to sell, but I paid $2.
Nice.
And it sold for $172 and change.
Very nice. So, all right, Julie wants to know what makes a good quilt to sell.
The quilt needs to be vintage. It needs to be hand sewn or handmade. Anything machine made and mass quantity produced through any type of manufacturer is not.
How can you tell it's handmade?
You can tell by uneven stitches if it's hand sewn. You can tell by the fabric quality and the age of the fabrics that are used. And you can do hand pieced but machine stitched as well. That's also, you're going to tell that by fabric.
Okay.
More than you're going to be able to tell by uneven stitching, because it won't have uneven stitching. But anything that's like Lori said, anything that is cotton or natural fabrics or feed sack, which is cotton, those type of quilts sell for more money than anything that has any type of synthetic fibers. They're softer, probably no tag, definitely no tag. If it has a tag, it's going to have a hand sewn tag on it or it's done in like quilting marker or something. Or it's, the back of it is going to have even a hand stitched name of who made it and the date that it was made.
Hi, Allison.
They do sell for better than wool, Tommy. Most people don't like to sleep with wool as much as they like Pendleton blankets.
I don't think of wool when I think of quilts.
Wool is not a quilt. Wool is a blanket, but you could find wool quilts here and there.
Yeah,
but cotton sells the best for sure.
All right. Next up for me is this jacket. Now this one's weird because I have not had this for very long at all. And it was this faux suede jacket that I got at the bins that had some condition issues. some kind of fading and discoloration, and you can see this is on the inside. Quit playing with your beads by the microphone, lady. You can see like this wear in the collar, and I said, right, you can see in my condition description, I say worn and faded, discoloration. And it was even worse, but I threw it in the wash. And I actually like almost didn't pick it up at the bins because of the condition stuff. And then I brought it home and I'm like, I'm just going to throw this whole thing in the wash. And I did. And it came out much cleaner. And then I had it listed for, it was $69.99, but that was supposed to be before it went on sale for 40% off, which would make it $41.99. I even sent out some offers for $30 plus shipping because I'm just like, I just want to make a few bucks on it. And then there was one day when my sale had gone off and I hadn't had a chance to create a new sale, and somebody bought it for $69.99. So it was literally listed for like maybe a week and a half. And I was like, okay. So I just sold this for, did not expect to be able to get $70 out of it, but I was very happy about that. And yeah, you just never know. You never know. I still wouldn't have priced it that high, but just sometimes people swoop in and they want what they want. So.
All right, so this is just a vintage Dolce & Gabbana. I did accept an offer for $150 on this. So I was perfectly happy taking that. This had condition issues. It's not one of the more valuable looking styles, although the Y2K and the 90s styles are back. It's just not, a super, super expensive one. But they do sell, and they don't sell for a ton of money. This is one of those that I was borderline whether it was real or not, but I did do a legit check, and some of them I can tell, some I can't. This was one I was like, I don't know, one of the tags looked like it was upside down. However, it came back as verified, so I listed it, and I got it at the bin, so I probably paid about $3. It was a lightweight bag and small. It's not one of the big ones. I've had it listed for at least 6 months, and I was pretty happy to sell it for $150.
Very nice.
If it were cuter, I probably would have kept it, but it's not. I don't think it's a cute one at all.
Yeah, not really. All right, next up for me, jumping over to Mercari. I picked up a few sweaters recently, and this is another one I had it listed for less than a week. And this is just to kind of reiterate, we say this all the time, that really the brand doesn't matter that much. It's more about the look and the design. And this sweater, apparently somebody wanted it, and they offered me $34 on Mercari. And again, I'm not paying any fees, so I got $34. Of course, I had to pay to ship it, but still, I got it at the bins. I paid maybe $3 for it. It barely took me any time at all to get it listed, and I got to flip it quick and save that space because, man, I've got like 3 sweater bins and they are full, so I was very happy to get rid of it right away. But yeah, just sweaters that have cool patterns, pick them up. It doesn't really matter what their brand is.
I love the sales that happen before you can barely put stuff away.
Like, I know. I didn't put it away, that's for sure.
Yeah, you get it listed and then it sells before it gets put away. That's the best kind.
Yep. All right, next up.
All right, so this did sell for what you see there. I actually bought this on a trip to Colorado last year that I went on by myself, and I was with Kristen, Rural Squirrel, and Liz at the bins. And I remember us standing next to each other when I pulled this in Denver, Colorado, and saying, ooh, I wonder if this is a Martha's Miniatures dress when I pulled it. It was just a pageant dress. And I have never found this brand. It is absolutely a Bolo brand. This is not a very old one. This one may be from the 90s to early Y2K. But they do still sell dresses, so I didn't put vintage in the title. But it took quite a while, and I've had it on sale, and I've sent a bazillion offers and all of those things, but it just needed to find the right, little John Benet Ramsey mom wannabe, or Honey Boo Boo's mom, bought this, and I probably paid $6 or so for it, based on weight. It's heavy, it's got a lot of tulle and fluffery. But it sold for $367.
That's crazy.
So I was very happy to get that out the door. And I did put this on Facebook. So if you're friends with me on Facebook, you did see this already. I apologize. But I was excited that it finally came through. And without even an offer. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Very cool.
All right. I sold this hat. I had gotten a bunch of hats from Jesse at Yesterday's Fits and paid $5 a piece for them.
That's a cool
And this one, yeah, I love it. It's like these really cool, kind of Aztec-y, Southwestern, kind of like just super typical 80s, 90s design. And then it's got, somebody's business screen printed over the top of it. And so, but this was like pretty much a brand new hat, and but I got a few that had like these crazy patterns on them, and I love them. I think they're really cool, and so it sold for the price you see there, $44.09. Again, I paid $5 for it. I've actually sold quite a few of the hats. I have a bunch left, but this is definitely one of the, I think, cooler ones. I mean, come on, look how cool it is, man. It's very cool, and look at that nice picture. It's a good picture.
It's a good picture.
It's a real good picture.
I can tell I didn't take it.
Real nice picture. You can tell Vikki did not take that picture.
Did not. All right, so this is another example of, it doesn't really matter what the brand is, it matters what the style and the design is when you're dealing with vintage fashion. So I picked these up when we were in Squim with our friend Lorna earlier this year, which I believe was in March or April earlier this year. And I paid $10 for these at a thrift store. There's no bins there, so I paid $10 for these at a small church thrift store near her house. And it took a little bit of time for them to sell, but not bad. I mean, I bought them heading into summer, and we're just heading into fall now. So they sold for $85.
Ridiculous.
And they were, you could tell by some of the sizing that was in there. They didn't have a name brand, but they were fully lined, and it's like butter soft, really nicely made leather. I knew that they were designer, even though there was no tag left in them. They were very high end when they were created. So,
fancy pants.
yeah, I mean, those are pretty cool. Those are pretty cool.
Butter soft. All right, next up, I got to sell this cool Mirage Treasure Island t-shirt. Probably got this at Yesterday's Fits. I wouldn't price it this high now, but it's still one of my older listings. Now I probably price this at more like $40, but I still sold it for $62.99. I've definitely had this, for well over a year. But it's got a great graphic, just a cool 90s t-shirt for a casino, but it's kind of a cool graphic, nice shirt, $63. I probably paid like $5-10 for it if I got it from Jesse. So what's that? What's that? What sounds are you making?
I'm just saying,
Why?
No, just... I think the shirt's kind of boring, but I'm glad it sold for $62.
How dare you? Well, like I said, I wouldn't price it that much now. Clearly, it took way too long to find the right person. You're so rude.
I am.
Next up for you.
This actually sold fairly quickly. This was one that hadn't gotten put away yet. So this I had listed for just a month or two. This is a bins find as well. You guys know, if you watch this channel, you know that I love picking up any type of kimono, whether it's for men's kimono or women's kimono. For whatever reason, we do have a fairly high Asian population here in Nevada. So I find quite a lot of Asian influence and Asian kimonos in the bins and at our thrift stores, which I'm grateful for because I love them. They sell pretty well, and they're really cheap, inexpensive polyester kimonos that you could buy at any swap meet. But you can also tell the really nice quality ones that are hand embroidered, they're lined, they're thicker, they're more luxurious fabrics, they're silk or something like this.
And they're not so flashy. Like this is
it's understated. Understated. And it's really this fabric was very nicely lined and handmade and hand sewn.
I can't change the photo.
Okay, that's okay. It was really nicely lined, and it's a thick textured fabric. I couldn't tell you what it was, but it's some type of cotton linen type blend.
Yeah.
But it was a really nice kimono, and it sold for the price you see there, $97 on Poshmark even.
Yeah, crazy. All right, down to my big sale for this last week. I sold this Cars jacket. This is a reversible tour jacket from the 70s. It's a very cool jacket. It had some condition issues. Now, I didn't pay anything for this jacket. This is a jacket that was actually given to me by our friend Teresa. She gave it to me to sell, but it was a gift, and look at this. It's so cool.
I think she paid.
I don't know what she paid for it, but she gave it to me to sell as a gift, and it's just a really, really cool jacket. Super tiny. Like I said, it's got like a few spots on it and stuff. I wasn't going to make any attempt to like clean anything. So just, showed, any flaws that it had. and disclose those. But it's just a really, really cool piece of history. I was only ever able to find one of them out there, and it had sold on some website. And I think I even reached out and asked them if they recalled like how much it sold for. And they did tell me. I don't remember what the answer was. But it's just kind of, I've had this now for over a year because I think it was like the beginning of the summer. It was like, because it was before we went to Camp Listing Party.
It was
So
last spring.
last spring. So I've had it for well over a year.
It was when everyone was out here for
Yeah. It was
For a
for
pop-up.
when List Perfectly came and did their thing. But anyway, so just a very fun sale to get. Now, like I said, when I got the sale, I was super excited. I was going to have this crazy good week. And then most of my other stores, like dramatically underperformed. So it really just allowed me to have a good week as opposed to like a crazy, amazing week. But you know what? I can appreciate that. Okay. And hopefully the person that got it is going to be very happy with it. It's funny because I shipped it out on Friday. And so I haven't had, the money hasn't like been released yet on Etsy, and I haven't sold anything else on Etsy since. So I'm just like, my balance is like every day as I list stuff, because it's like with Etsy, it's like when stuff gets renewed, it's like another 20 cents. So I'm just like, it's just chipping away at my balance, man. It's really making me mad. So I don't know what the problem is with Etsy this weekend, but it's irritating me. So
I've had a slow weekend on every platform.
Yeah, for sure.
Put the
Okay,
picture
so
back.
don't you tell me what to do. Let me go ahead and make the screen bigger. Anyway, we got through that pretty quick. We still have some time. We got some time to chat.
Yeah, we did. We had like I said, we had a busy week, and we are going to an event that starts just about 3:00. So
Yeah.
we're going a little bit late.
So Saturdays we generally we try not to do too much work. Like we won't like do like work like listing and
It's
stuff
our
like
one day
that.
off.
But the only exception to that is we like to source. And so yesterday, Vicki was like, "Hey, what do you think about going and doing some let's hit some yard sales. Let's do some thrifting." And I was like, "Okay." And so we ended up going to like this community yard sale. I got a unnecessarily large amount of little softball t-shirts,
Vintage
but,
girls softball
girls
stuff.
soft, but like men's sizes, like adult sizes, not kid sizes, but they were like, a lot of like kid softball stuff. But as I show with my wrestling, that stuff sells. I do sell that stuff, and they were some really cool graphics. And they were like, "Yeah, we had so much more stuff earlier, and people bought it." So I'm like, "Oh man, I must have missed some really good ones." I think there were a couple of them where there were actual. I think there were a couple of them that were actually like cool softball shirts that were not specific to a league or.
I don't know. I didn't really see much of it, but I'm looking at Tommy's comment in the chat. I'm peeved with Etsy. They're charging $15 for a store.
I don't know what that means.
Is that new? Because I don't pay anything for a store, but I have 4,000 items on Etsy, so I pay actually, 5 cents a month for 4,000 items.
I know they've had
I pay a lot more than $15. So
I know they've had a store thing for a long time that you could pay for. It wasn't really like what you got with it wasn't anything that was worth paying for. So I don't know anything about it, Tommy. What do you just throwing stuff out there to make people panic, and we don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so we were a little late to be hitting yard sales because by the time we got out there, it was like afternoon, wasn't it?
yeah, it was about 11:30.
So it was super hot, and it had already been.
This is supposed to be like prime garage sale season here in Vegas, spring and fall again, because it's too hot in the summer. In the summertime, you'll find a handful, but people roll up shop early. They're closing by 10 or 11 because it's just too damn hot for a garage sale. And yesterday was like that. I said, "Oh my God, I feel like we're driving around like it's like July, and I don't go garage sailing in July for a reason." But it's just been so hot here. It's been so hot.
So Tommy's saying it's new. Summertime Vintage says they charge for new stores. Okay, I haven't heard anything about that, but I mean, if it's new stores, who cares? So I don't think that we're getting charged anything.
That must be what it is.
We'll see what happens with it. So what are you mad about, Tommy? Don't you already have a store? Come on. Anyway, and then we ended up going. Vicki, you really wanted tacos, so I did some Googling. And if Alexis watches this at any time, it's a good thing Vikki had me because I've heard the two of you are incapable of using the Google machine to find
Listen,
good food.
Alexis and I failed miserably at trying to get tacos when I just saw her a couple months ago. It was not pretty.
Yep, and you have all of the world's knowledge at your fingertips. So I don't know how that happened, but anyway, so I did find us a taco place that turned out to be like the most delicious.
It was really good.
Al pastor that we've had.
We shared some al pastor fries, and they were really good, and
So
we
really
couldn't
fun.
even eat half of it sharing it.
And then Vikki
Stupid.
was like, "Hey, you want to go to the Salvation Army bins? Because the Salvation Army here opened their own bin store, like maybe a year ago, 6 months ago.
I don't know how long ago, but
Vikki had already been to it once. I had never been, and so we went to that, and it was definitely very interesting. But we both found like some really good stuff. It was super hot. Like they didn't have any kind of air conditioning. They had like a swamp cooler. It was freaking hot.
it was really hot. Yesterday, I mean, I'm over the hot, right, guys? We've got some people at
But it was
some of
real
our
hot.
local friends are in the chat. Alana, let me tell you,
I don't usually bitch about it, and I was like, man, I had to take my hat off because I was like so hot. Need my head to cool off. But we both found some really good stuff. I found, I'll have to show it like maybe next
I think we
week.
should do a little haul video. Why don't we do a haul video this week with that
Okay.
stuff?
I found something that I could potentially sell for more than that Cars jacket. One item. So they'll make that a teaser. We'll do a little haul video from that. And Vikki found a bunch of stuff,
Good stuff.
really
Yeah.
good stuff. So
And by the way, did you see Molly in our chat?
Molly, where?
Molly is in our chat. Hi, Molly.
What's going on, Molly? Doo-doo-boppy-doo-boo.
Oh, you even got a song, Molly.
I know you have your own theme song.
We have not had a song. Katie has not done a super chat song in at least a year or two. But
That wasn't for a super chat.
No,
that was
that
just for Molly.
a song.
That was just for Molly.
Jill, I don't know. We had a record high yesterday as well for this time of year, 14 degrees, higher than the average norm. I don't know. It's stupid. It's stupid. I want some fall. And now we're about to go hang out in very hot weather for a little bit outside.
But anyway, so as far as our normal thing that we do at the end of the show, goals and stuff like that, I've been keeping up on my 10 items a day. I do, like I said, I'm going to be going to Oregon. I'm going to be gone Friday through next Monday, hanging out with my sister, Binky, the Binkster. And
I'm going to be home all alone.
It's true, crybaby.
So if anybody wants to fly out to Vegas and spend
Yep.
the weekend with me, you're welcome.
Yep. So I'm going to be gone so I'm not going to be doing any listing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So I really need to, over these next few days, really, so that your haul video might be a little bit delayed, but I need to get as many listings done as possible because I need to have like 40 banked by the end of day Thursday so that I'm covered for those 4 days. So that's going to be kind of my goal for this week, what I'm planning on working on. What about you?
Just going to be trying to get through the rest of my pile here. I'm doing pretty well. I know you guys can't see my office, but the very small pile of items that are photographed to be listed is down to maybe 30 items. And then I have maybe another 50 to photograph and get listed. And then I'm completely caught up. Which is what my goal has been. So I've been working through it while sourcing, by the way, at least once or twice a week. So adding to it a little bit every week, but getting it listed and photographed faster. I do still have my lister. She just took, I had given her a month off. She took 4 weeks off for me to get caught up and for her to do some family stuff. And then I got her out a new batch the other day. She's got another 80 items or so.
Yeah.
Liz, thank you for sharing Dana's closet and things like that in the chat. For those of you that did not catch the earlier part of the show, our friend Dana Jasmine, is out of commission for the next few weeks at least, with sudden onset blindness.
Hopefully temporary.
Hopefully it will be temporary. Let's pray or send good juju, well wishes. But she cannot work. She can't use her phone or her computer or see a TV or
respond to offers. Like she literally has no idea what's going on.
I'm going to be checking in on her stores every day and answering questions and responding to offers and sending offers and trying to refresh some of her listings. And I'll be doing her shipping every third day for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So anything that anyone can do, we really appreciate it. As of tomorrow, her stores will be all back online. They are kind of, I think, all on vacation right now through the end of business today. So if you, normally go in and share people's closets on Posh, if you would like to share her closet, that would be very helpful. Let's see if we can get her some sales. She definitely needs the money, as we all do. She can't really afford to put everything on hold while she can't see for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll do what we can to try and help her keep her stuff together.
Yep. Yep.
So,
all right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up just a few minutes early because I gotta go feed the dogs some food before we get on the road. But we really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us. Remember, no show next week, no show. But you can always find Vikki on Instagram or wherever and send her messages and tell her how that you feel sorry for her because she's gonna be sad and lonely. Anyway, but we appreciate you guys, and
Norma
we will see
says,
you.
please put Dana's store in the comment section. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep. All right.
Bye.
Bye.